Good morning, everyone. Today I wanted to take some time to review 9 additional investment books that changed my life financially. The first one is by Howard Marks, and it's called The Most Important Thing. And this book summarized key points that all investors need to consider. They include market efficiency, the difference between price and value, risk considerations, and many additional market cycle considerations. The next book is also by Howard Marks, and it's titled Mastering the Market Cycle. This book focuses on how to think about market cycles and how to use them to your advantage. The next book is by Adam Smith, and it's titled The Wealth of Nations. It's a very in-depth book that explains how the wealth of a particular nation is the combination of the skills, dexterity, and useful employment of its citizens. I found it very interesting, and I would recommend that to you. The next book is by Peter Lynch, and the title is One Up on Wall Street. It's a fantastic book on all the advantages of being a small investor. We naturally tend to think that the large institutions have many advantages over us, but in large part they don't. I'll give you some specific examples. Large institutions have limits on how much of their portfolios can be exposed to one particular investment, typically somewhere around 5%, which means that even if they know what investments are likely to perform better, they are not authorized to overweight those positions accordingly. And this book also explains the importance of earnings and how earnings impact stock valuations so much. Relating this back to our spectrum of valuation, which we've completed in a previous video, the reason why earnings make and break stocks is because too many investors are paying premium earnings multiples anticipating earnings growth. If earnings disappoint, future expectations are recalculated with drastically reduced projected values for the stock. This is exactly why you see so much aggressive volatility in stocks. If you don't pay premiums for growth, low earnings growth doesn't punish you in the same way, to the same extent, which is why I tend to focus personally on the current discretionary cash flows of a company as opposed to taking the risk of overpaying and speculating on future growth prospects. The next book is also by Peter Lynch, and it's titled Learn to Earn. Great book on how to start out, saving money, and making overall better financial choices, which will naturally lead to a more prosperous life. The next book is by Phil Fisher, and it's titled Common Stocks in Uncommon Profits. I thought this was a fantastic book, and I had some key takeaways that I want to share with you. One key thought from the book is to determine individually if the efforts allocated to invest on your own would be worth it to you. And he makes a key point, which is that when you consider all the compound interest, nothing will pay you more for your time long term than allocating time and effort to the skills necessary for individual common stock selection. The next book on my list is also by Phil Fisher, and it's titled Paths to Wealth Through Common Stocks. This book is great in assisting you with the tools and philosophy required to select individual common stocks. He outlines a 15-step process determining if a stock meets the requirements for individual selection. The next book is written by Alan Greenspan, and the title is Capitalism in America. Another absolutely fantastic book on the history of America, and it really puts things in perspective how this country came to be where we are now. And a unique insight I gained from the book was how emerging markets offer higher returns and how they're associated with higher volatility. And I want you to keep this in mind when you're looking for better opportunities, just as JP Morgan did throughout that period of time. The next book on my list is called Guns, Germs, and Steel, written by Jared Diamond. This book is not necessarily investment focused, but it definitely offers a background on human history and some basic logistics considerations for different continents. And again, kind of aligning human history and making sense of where we are today. Thanks for joining, guys. Have a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe.